In this video I will show you both of the constructors used in Java. I hope that you are following all the parts of this series. If you missed any, check the I button. There are two types of constructors, default constructor and parameterized constructor. The default constructor stores the default values to all the global variables. Let me show that first. At first declare the class. I have used the class named Constructor. At first we have to declare some global variables. Let's use all the data types. Char data type is not required for a default constructor. At first let's create the default constructor. To create a default constructor, enter the name of class, as shown in the video. A default constructor install all the default values in the global variables. Default values for integer is 0, for double 0.0, and for string null. To install string, just open and close the quotations. The default constructor only have this much of work. After this we can continue our program as usual. Now let's see the parameterized constructor. At first remove this default one. A parameterized constructor have to take input from the user while creating object, so we have to declare some variables inside the parameters. We have to declare all the data type used in the global variables, but with different variable names. Let's take x, y, and z for integer, double and string respectively. The work of parameterized constructor is to take input from the user and store it in the default variables. We have to store x to a, y to b, and z to c. The input will be taken while creating the object. Let's create a display method and see the values of global variables. Print the values of global variable to check whether all the entered values are stored perfectly. Now close the method in class. You can see that I have printed the global variables only. If the constructor won't work, the global variables will show default values. I have not used the static context in the display method. We have to create an object in order to access that display method. You can see that as I click the first option, which is to create object, a dialog box appears to ask for input. At first enter 3 different values. To enter any string value, always put quotations before and after the sentence or word. We have created an object. Now let's see the display method. You can see that the values entered in x, y, z are printed here. If you want to see the entered values without the display method, go to Object and right click. Here you can find the option of Inspect. Click it and then you can see the entered values of each variable. This is useful to check for wrong statements or unused variables. In the next video I will show overloading methods. If you liked this video, please subscribe.